Welcome back to the Masterpiece Podcast. This week, we will be exploring Change, the first song off of Big Thief's 2022 record, Dragon New Warm Mountain, I Believe in You. Okay, affirms the band's lead singer and writer Adrian Lenker as the percussive backing of Change comes to being for the first time.
Okay.
In the intro, Big Thief take it upon themselves to build an atmosphere like that of a crackling campfire. Exemplified by a pair of maracas and the soft hit of a bass drum, it is as if the track is reaching out to give a warm hug to the listener. Lenker adds the quiet strum of her guitar, and in this moment Change begins to shape into its narrative. As a whole, the song is a reason for the listener to consider their life through hearing Lenker's experiences with love. Via her storytelling, Change urges us to reflect on things across the past, present, and future, sometimes even simultaneously.
Change, like the wind, like the water, like skin. Change, like the sky, like the leaves, like a butterfly.
In that first verse, Lenker focuses her writing on the natural parallels between our lives and the inevitable process of change. Her list of similes illustrates change's relevance to us in several dimensions. This includes the constant and unpredictable shift of wind, the ebb and flow of the tide, and the way in which the sky transforms from blue to black, not stopping to consider whether the light will return. As Lenker claims, the natural world receives change with open arms, so why should it be any different for us? Even in the face of heartbreak, sorrow, regret, and longing, we owe it to ourselves to continue on in life. It's worth noting that at this point in the song, Lenker's address is universal. We all have something to learn from the natural instances of change, past, present, and future. However, following the first verse, the intended audience shifts. In the initial chorus, Lenker calls out to her former lover, questioning their comfort with some form of hypothetical immortality. Would they want to live forever in a world that progresses too quickly to keep up with? Without much of a pause, Lenker asks another, more daunting question. Would you smile forever, never cry, while everything you know passes? From this, it can be gathered that Lenker is asking her former love to consider the consequences of their actions and the void they left in Adrian's heart. However, in the following verse, we see that this potential absence, whether it be of love or something quite different, holds lots of value from Lenker's perspective.
Death, like a door to a place we've never been before. Death, like space, the deep sea, a suitcase.
Death like a door, she claims, to a place we've never been before. Without a doubt, death is a process as natural as any other. To Lenker, the change experienced in death can open us up to a whole new dimension of being, a point she elaborates upon in the next half of the verse by comparing it to space and the sea. In the end, she believes that death adds a valuable extension to our human experience. In the following chorus, the simple production of drums, maracas, and bass crescendos slightly, and Lenker's voice is joined by accompaniment from guitarist Buck Meek. In these lines, as well as the next two verses, the writing will return to the intimate address of Lenker's former lover, in lines that combine thoughts of the present and the future.
Would you stare forever at the sun? Never watch the moon rising? Would you walk forever in the light to never learn the secret of the quiet night? a stone, like a hill, like home. Still, what I find is you are always on my mind.
In the first half of that chorus, a common trope of too much of a good thing takes the stage. Of course, staring at the sun not only has the potential to lead to blindness in a literal sense, but also can metaphorically lead one away from learning the lessons of dark times. This idea is further clarified by the last line, which describes the secret of the quiet night. Together, these metaphors serve as Linker's critique of her previous partner's attitude towards romantic relationships, and maybe some attempt to downplay the love that still remains. However, Linker is not invulnerable to that lingering emotional grief. In the following verse, she writes of the significance of her present feelings, her stillness, her longing, and her continued love for her former partner. These points are clarified with third and fourth lines that exclaim, "Still, what I find is you are always on my mind." Linker's despair finds itself being exemplified further in the third chorus, which serves as an almost cathartic expression of her mourning, following the end of the relationship and her former partner's discovery of a new love.
Could I feel happy for you when I hear you talk with her like we used to? Could I set everything free when I watch you holding her the way you once held me?
Ultimately, what is gathered from these lyrics is not that Linker is destined to be forever hung up on this lost love. When all of the preceding verses are taken into account, it is found that Linker is confident in herself to persevere through this time of change, however long it may take. Sure enough, the next few lyrics serve as a statement by Linker of the strength we all ought to have through the changes in life, romantic or not. She repeats the first verse in its entirety, urging the listener, as well as herself, to recall that the struggle to process the past, interpret the present, and face the future is in itself natural. Combined with the final chorus, that verse culminates the song with a return to an exploration of the track's core message. Linker calls back to the second-person address, but this time something about it strikes differently. There's a certain endearing hope to her words, and as she calls upon us to question whether we would choose to live and smile forever, I can't help but respond with that familiar, affirming, okay.
Would you live forever, never die, while everything around passes? Would you smile forever,